Okay, guys, I'm going to be live on the radio in just a few minutes. Hang in there. Please feel free to join in. The likes, the comments, the shares. I got a pretty jam-packed show, hopefully. So if you're out there and you're listening, I'm about to go live on WYSL 1040 AM, 92.1 FM out in Avon, Rochester, and on the Patriot down in the Southern Tier, and of course here at Tim for Liberty and a Free Solution. The likes, the comments, the shares. All right, guys, it's Thursday, June 24th, 2021, and it is me, Tim O'Connor, your host on Thursdays on A Free Solution. I want to give a shout out to the listeners at WYSL Live, 1040 AM, 92.1 FM, and 95.FM. Also, out in the Southern Tier on the Patriot. Feel free to call in, guys. I'll put the number up on the screen for you, but it is 866-552-1009. 866-552-1009. And guys, as you know, like there's big news out there. But remember, when it comes to politics, when it comes to life, when it comes to everyday situations, success, guys, is not final. Failure is not fatal, and it's the courage to continue that counts. And so, guys, on that note, guys, we're going to talk about John McAfee today. He was a libertarian, was a libertarian, who met his untimely end recently. And so what we're going to talk about is his history, his reality, and I'm going to reference a article in the Wall Street Journal by Giovanni Legarano, and it's datelined June 24th, 2021. Spanish authorities have opened an investigation into the death of software pioneer John McAfee after he was found dead in his jail cell from an apparent suicide. His body was found Wednesday at a facility near Barcelona, hours after a Spanish court ordered his extradition in connection with a federal criminal proceeding in Tennessee. Some of you guys know who John McAfee is, especially you libertarians and some of you conservatives out there. He ran in 2016 and 2020, seeking the Libertarian Party nomination as a presidential candidate. Always a firebrand, always an interesting guy, always pretty funny. I mean, he created McAfee, sold the McAfee antiviral software. He sold it for like $100 million. And then, guys, he went ahead and made a YouTube video teaching people how to uninstall his own software that he pioneered. Now, it was after he sold it, but still, he's a pretty hilarious individual. One of the things that he's famous for is living on a boat to avoid paying taxes. Okay. Hey, guys. Thomas Daniel Queter, my man, put him on. Tom, are you there? I can, brother. Thank you very much for calling. I had promised everybody that I was going to interview you today, and then I just want to apologize for not reaching out and organizing it, man, because it has been just an incredibly busy week. But you called in, so how are you doing? Oh my God, really? Happy birthday, guys, to Thomas Daniel Queter. Let me give everybody a little background about who you are, okay? Thomas Daniel Queter, Senate District 52, ran against Fred Akshar in the 2020 race for state Senate. I have a feeling that Tom's going to let us know something about that right now. What do you think, man? Oh, yeah. Because all right, run that again, what for me one more time. I'm going to try to put it up on the screen. And I know, guys, we're going out over the radio, and this is important, but I do want to share this information with everyone who is watching us on a free solution on Facebook or at Tim for 51 on Facebook or YouTube. Also going out to the Twitters, so things like that. So it's Queter's birthday fundraiser for your Senate campaign. Is that correct? Fantastic. So how old are you, Tom? You know, I think we should probably go into that a little bit, don't you? I mean, I think people need to know who you are and why you're running for New York State Senate. And why don't you give them a quick rundown about that and why you think you can make a difference? Because, ladies and gentlemen, I met Tom. Tom and I worked together on our campaigns, our state Senate campaigns, and I'm telling you, this guy has heart, this guy has imagination, and this guy has solutions. And that's why we're on Free Solution. And I'm grateful that you called in, brother. Lay it on him. Yeah. Yeah, do you mind if I interject for a second? Because I think everybody understands that interacting with the government is a difficult situation. There's times when they need help and they need unemployment insurance or they want to even file a building permit on their house or perhaps build a house from the ground up. I think everybody has seen these layers or guys, God forbid you want to open a business and you have to fill out the seeker or a new what is the oh God, I can't remember the name of the form, but you got to fill out this crazy form proving to the whole community that the business is needed in the area. Anyways, what people have seen how complicated it is, and I think what you're trying to express and what you're so great at expressing is just how complicated it is for you. So bring that on. Yeah. And what happens if you make one mistake on that stuff? I don't want to get like you and I when we talk, we get heading off in crazy wild sidetrack directions. I want to let you focus on your message today. But brother, I love the way that you've accepted your circumstances and that when we change the world, when you get in the New York State Senate, you are going to change the world. So let's keep on this. How did they lose your legs, man? box checking. Correct. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Yeah. Please do, Tom. Right. Hey, it sounds like we're coming up on a break. Will you stay on for at least another segment, bud? All right, cool. Thank you very much. Yes. Yeah, yeah. What's happening is I don't quite know how to feed Tom's voice to the Facebook pages. So people are asking me questions about that. I apologize on that, Bob. Basically, because I only have one computer, I've been kind of leery of trying to load too many things at this. Uh, okay. Yeah. Get it. Okay, good. Good. All right. Okay, and guys, and I got to apologize to the people out there watching on Facebook in a free solution. I know you're hearing me talk to the program producer. Kevin and I need to have a sit down and kind of figure these things out. And believe me, guys, I'm going to do that. Uh, I'm enjoying the heck out of this. I'm sorry that I'm not as prepared as I would like to be. You guys have all seen me do live stuff in the past. You know, I fill up the time pretty well with my ramblings and my incoherent speech. So I don't want to let you down. And I appreciate you hanging in there. And guys, if you come back tomorrow, it's going to be Kevin and I on at Tim for Liberty and a free solution and Kevin Wilson Libertarian. And we will have worked out some of the bugs. So he's going to give me some information, some lessons, some stuff to work on. I'm talking with Thomas Daniel Queter, New York State Senate candidate for District 51, and he's doing basically getting ready to run again for next year, and it's his birthday. We're trying to raise him a couple bucks. If you guys can throw him a few dollars, it's his 38th birthday, and as he said, it's the 38th birthday that the government never expected him to see. He recently had a tweet go viral explaining how he runs better than the government, and he does, guys. So hang in there Feel free to post some questions. Thanks, Will. I see your comment there. I'm glad that you did switch over to the radio. Okay. And Jeff Klein, I know you're out there too, man, and I appreciate it. I appreciate every time you show up and listen to the show. I will get more proficient at this. This week, I had plans of like being all involved, fixing things. Didn't quite get there. All right, guys, it's Tim O'Connor. I'm back. We're live on WYSL, the voice of Liberty, 1040 AM in Avon, New York. Shout out to the people in Southern Tier at the Patriot that are also listening to us. Avon, New York. Man, I have just lightened things up today. Okay, but feel free to call in after I get done talking with Thomas Daniel Queter. Queter, you still there? All right, brother. One of the stories. Go ahead. You finish up with your thought that before we went to break. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah, isn't that 100,000 businesses just in New York State though? Like I think that it's way more than 100,000 businesses across the country. Right. I look around, guys, because I used to do some work for a state of the art medical facility. Okay, we used to put what you would call positron emission tomographers in the back of tractor trailers. That was a staple business in my local area here in Otsego County, and it's gone. I see restaurants that haven't opened back up. I mean, it's just bizarre. The government response to COVID was a disaster. All right, Tom, go ahead. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You the certificate of need. Yeah, and then let me jump in for a second too to just emphasize the point you're making. Not only do you need licenses, but your benevolent overlords actually like legislated in a school to get licensing just to shampoo hair. Like you have to. I'm always amazed that more people don't actually just sit back and realize exactly what the problem is. Okay, that these guys are out there taking care of themselves and making bizarre laws to like you're basically saying draining funds from our communities and setting up occupational licensing where it isn't needed and guys, as a libertarian, I'm not a big fan of occupational licensings for anything. We can certify each other, we can get into where we understand that a better way forward is cooperating with the government, showing them how much business we've done, having a valid insurance policy that checks our work. Things like that are important, sure, but a self-regulating mechanism is probably much better than occupational licensing. And back to you, Tom. Keep going. Yeah. It's amazing, right? They have to follow the rigorous processes and the procedures, and that in fact has limited parents' abilities to go to their preferred daycare provider. Is that do I basically sum that up okay? 9 months it takes for the CPS combined with the state credentialing agency to resolve an investigation where guys, and bear with me guys, as I know some of you are hearing it on the radio, but where a toddler bites another toddler in a daycare. So when we bump up against that kind of stuff, how do we get to an answer? How do we get to a solution? How do we fix it, Tom? I, there's because of rules and regulations, and guys, that's one of the things he's talking about is that we have this massive bureaucratic structure in New York State that actually limits freedom, actually limits parental ability to make responsible decisions for their children, and guys, adds layers and layers and layers of expenses for daycare providers, for certifications, for inspections and things like that, that actually that doesn't seem to help kids at all. It only limits at people's access to daycare and makes it more expensive. Yeah, correct. Excuse me. Go ahead, please. Of course. Well, I mean, I'd make them ask me, but I'd give them a hand. You know what I mean? Bottom line is that when your neighbors are in need, you lend them a hand. That's the way that it goes. And maybe they got $10 sitting around and you send your kid over and they mow the lawn for them and they put a little cash in their pocket. There's ways that we can cooperate with each other that are, without worrying about child labor laws and stuff like that, right? Isn't that what we'd be up against in our state? That's a great question because you have to get a building permit. You have to do this. You have to have to get a building permit. You have to certify that you're either working by yourself or you have a workers' compensation policy covering your employees. So if we could get those things in place and we want to pitch in and get together, we could all just kind of throw some wood together and get a guy up and in and out of his house. But then there's a rigorous like inspection and details to making a wheelchair ramp official, right? So you have to follow a prescribed 1 on 12-inch slope. And guys, it sounds like we're coming up on another break. I hope Queter will stay with me for at least one more segment. Even though, guys, I had a stack of stuff. I spent an hour and a half getting ready, but Tom Queter is way more important than that. All right. It's a free solution. Shout out to the Patriot in the Southern Tier and WYSL in Avon, New York, 10:40 a.m. then what exactly is actually going on? Pre-COVID, $75 million hit. And won't he just kind of point his finger at that program and be like, well, they kind of mismanage money. It's at the lower end and their administrator. Isn't that a standard operating procedure for this guy? You would think. Say that, just say that again for emphasis, because I don't think that when people hear stuff like that, they have a tendency to not actually hear it because it sounds insane. But say it one more time and say it with emphasis because I know it's true. I know the same HVAC engineer, but say it again. Yeah. And so the SPCA is this quasi governmental agency, isn't it? I mean, didn't it used to be kind of like a volunteer organization where they collected money from their communities and now they're receiving huge amounts of state funding? Isn't that what's going on? So they right, I'm sure they still reach out to their communities. And guys, I'm not necessarily knocking the SPCA per se, but the point Mr. Queter is making is that the amount of resources dedicated to the SPCA per pet or per whatever compared to the amount of resources dedicated to nursing homes, schools, and hospitals doesn't seem to make sense. Okay. Oh, wonderful. Well, yeah, I did a show with Colin Graybo, about the Jones Act. So I definitely am familiar with Cato, and they are a great outreach organization. They're there for their trying to educate people about bad legislation. So please go ahead. Cato wants you to write an article. I'll I'll be watching for it. I'll help you write it. Oh wow, man, that kind of hurt a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, guys, so check this out. And Tom, first of all, thank you very much for being here today, for sharing your views. Today's free solution, besides offering you access to help a legitimate New York State Senate candidate who is a disability advocate, a libertarian, I put it up on the screen several times, but it's going up one more time. Go to Tom for 52. It's his birthday. Make a small donation, make a large donation, make a donation, photocopy the receipt, and send it to your local representative to let them know that you are looking for better ideas and more freedom. So guys, in addition to the free solution, I wanted to talk about shared parenting. I wanted to talk about Joe Biden's comments about if you want to fight the U.S. government, you need F-15s, not AR-15s, and nuclear bombs. And guys, that kind of dystopian nightmare is what is poisoning discourse in America. And guys, I want to thank Thomas Daniel Queter. I want to thank Larry Sharp. I want to thank Kevin Wilson. And guys, it's me, Tim O'Connor, live on a free solution, WYSL 1040 AM, Rochester, New York. And guys, we'll check you all out tomorrow. Kevin and I are going to be live. We'll probably do some Fake News Friday. We're going to have an absolute blast. And boom, we're done. Okay, I figure it's better to not have dead air and just have you cut me off and let the music play it out. You got, okay. Yeah, you too. Thank you very much.